Abundant Life TV. My name is Rob Jones and you're tuned into the Testimony and Interview channel. Well, today we've got a special guest with us. It's Claudia. Hello, Claudia. How are you?
Hello. I'm very well, thank you.
Yeah, that's good. Well, as some of you may know Claudia actually presents the Spanish channel.
That's right.
Actually on the Abundant Life TV, and you produce programs every week?
Yes, yeah, I hope you've been watching mine as well.
That's right, yes. You have to learn to speak Spanish first, though.
That's true. Yeah, it's specially dedicated for the Spanish community.
Yeah, so if any of you know people who are Spanish speakers around the world, then please obviously promote the channel. And Claudia does an awful lot of Bible teaching about what it is to have real faith and a deep relationship with Jesus. Well, Claudia, you've come here today with a different hat on. You've come to actually share your testimony of faith. So obviously the viewers don't really know you or anything about you. Could you tell us a little bit about your background, you know, where you came from, where you grew up, and you know, the sort of the childhood that you had? Was it a good childhood? Did you enjoy it? So where are you from?
Right, yes. I was born in Bogota, Colombia, South America. One of 10 children.
Wow.
So big family,
Yes.
like most families in Colombia. I was the 8th child.
Right.
4 girls, 6 boys. So obviously by the time my mom had me, she really was pretty much used to children. And
Right, indeed, I'm sure she was.
mainly looked after by the older ones. The little ones were looking after the older ones.
Right.
Sorry, the other way around. The older
Yes.
ones were looking after the little ones.
Yes.
So anyway, we were mainly...
What was it like? What was it like growing up in that area? Was it a poor area, quite a well-off area? I mean,
I would say middle, really. We were not really poor as such.
right.
Because my mother and my father have moved from the village to the city.
Oh, right.
My dad had a good job. He was an accountant, and
right.
yeah, he had us quite, you know, reasonably well. But he was one of the lads, so he liked going out, and you know, he was like
You
this.
like to have a good time.
Yes.
The world's way of having a good time, right?
The way of this world, yes. He liked going out, drinking, and so we didn't really see much of him as such.
Right.
I
So your
wouldn't
mum
say.
was the main carer.
Yeah, I wouldn't say I had that father image as such, because he was always at work or out with his friends. So in that way, we didn't really grow up as close as family in that way.
I suppose in that situation he had to work hard so that he could provide for all those children.
Yes.
And obviously, that is a big family, and you'd have to put the hours in to actually to finance the family's life. So you were quite close to your mum, and your mum took the main caring role.
She was busy as well, because obviously all the tasks at home, you know,
indeed,
the
yeah.
cooking, the washing, and it was a lovely, I think of my childhood, and it was lovely because they were the safe times when we all play outside in the streets, and we all had lovely times, just with some pebbles or marbles. You didn't really
so you made
need
your own
much.
entertainment.
Yeah, it was fun.
Right.
And my mum just had to call us when it was time for food, and then eat quickly and go back out again.
I would imagine that meal times are an interesting time with all those people around, and the noise and talking, and
always
probably very vibrant.
People coming in and out.
That's right.
So yeah, I was quite lucky in that way. There was always people at home.
Yes.
And being Colombian as well is a Catholic country, so we were brought up as Catholics as well,
So you
obviously.
went to church at a young age? Were you
Yes.
there as a baby? And
But not really regular as such.
Right.
The memories I've got of the mass service were on Sundays in our neighborhood, because where I lived, it was like they always had like a parish church.
oh, right, yeah.
But obviously, with all these big families, they were very crowded churches.
Right.
So all I can remember is being right at the end of this church, full of people, and just about here I heard the priest
And did
say,
they have the services in Spanish or Latin? Or
oh no, they were in Spanish.
they were in Spanish?
Yeah, they were
so
in
you
Spanish.
understood. And how did that affect your view of God? I mean, did it produce a belief in God in you as you grew up as a young child in the church? I mean, how did you view the church and God at that time?
Well, really, God was more like somebody up there,
Right.
up in heaven,
Right.
looking down on us,
Right.
and we were really just, you have to be frightened of God,
Right.
because He can punish those.
Right. So
Very
a sense of
severely.
awe and respect.
Yes.
And he was a disciplinarian, so if you did anything wrong, he would strike you down, or he would
Yes.
punish you. So you're quite scared of your view
yeah.
of God. Was quite a scary view of God, I would.
Oh yeah, and we
Right.
went to church. No, you don't talk at church. You know, everything was to be quiet, very solemn.
Yeah.
Which in a way was, I like that, but not with the feeling that we had in our
Yes.
hearts. You know, I like the solemnity of respecting the church place as such, but not the way that they really
They did
taught
it,
us
right.
about God, that He was only there to punish those who didn't do, or did His commandments.
So did you have any form of relationship with God, or was it just an intellectual belief in God? I mean, did you have any experience of God or His presence in those early years, or was it mainly just like attendance, religious type of thing that you did? I mean, how did it? Was there any effect of going to church at that time, or did you, once you left the church, you just did the things that you always did in your life in the world without really considering, what God was about?
It was definitely just the religion of tradition, really.
Right.
There was no relationship, there was no depth whatsoever.
Did you think you could have a relationship with God at that point? Or?
No.
Right, it wasn't
no.
personally for you?
No, it wasn't really.
Right.
I never took it like the way that it should have been, like
Right.
I will tell later on, because for me it was never expressed that way, that God was there for those who call upon His name.
Right.
And I must mention as well, I went to a Catholic school
Right.
with the nuns, which were the Salesianas. It's like a special community. I had
Right.
special communities of
Uh-huh.
nuns. The convent I went with was with the Salesianas,
Right.
which were always, dressed up in their black and.
Right. So they were quite solemn people.
Yes, yes, I was very frightened of them as well. I don't know why.
It's quite interesting, Claudia, because obviously, Colombian culture and many Spanish countries' culture is very vibrant and lively and energetic, and you think of the music and the dancing and when they get together, the talking and the sharing, it's very vibrant and energetic, and yet from the way you're describing the church, it's completely different to your own culture, very solemn, very dignified in the sense that you weren't allowed to talk, you had to do certain things at certain times. So there's quite a contradiction really between your culture and the religion that your nation has, in that the culture is vibrant and alive and exciting, but the religion was actually very structured and straight-laced, and didn't really represent, if you like, the culture of your own nation.
No, it's true. You're right there, because it never really. It was completely separate.
Right.
That's your religion. This is you.
Did you feel a bit schizophrenic? I'd imagine like you're in church and you're all standing there in rows and getting up and sitting down at the right time and saying the right responses at the right time, and then you'd go out and you'd have like your family meal and you'd be chatting and laughing and vibrant and life and fun. I mean, it's such a contradiction, isn't it?
Crazy, really.
You must have felt a little schizophrenic. Well, why can't we be a bit more like this in the church, where we can express our personalities and our faith and our life like that? And yet, in this Colombian country with all its vibrant life and diversity, as soon as you went in the church, you all almost acted like English people.
Yeah, you said it.
It's quite interesting.
It is sad, really, because it's true the way you put it, and you think, why couldn't we express our culture like you said? The way that we are quite passionate, we like salsa, we like dancing, we're quite expressive, and yet when it came to church, it had to be opposite to that. And